Hello students, in continuation with limit and continuity, next we are going to prove theorem first, uniqueness of limit. It states that if limit x tends to c fx exists, then it is unique. That is, if limit x tends, if possible that limit x tends to c fx equals to L1 comma L2, then we have to show that L1 equals to L2. That is, the limit is unique. Suppose this is not, that is L1 is not equal to L2. Now by definition of limit, for all epsilon positive there exists delta 1 positive such that fx minus L1 mod less than epsilon, for 0 less than x minus c mod less than delta 1, call it inequality first. Similarly, for all epsilon positive there exists delta 2 greater than 0 such that fx minus L2 mod is less than epsilon, for 0 less than mod x minus c less than delta 2, call it inequality 2. Now take delta equals to minimum of delta 1 comma delta 2. That is, let us suppose, for example, let us suppose here is delta 1 is 4, then the delta 2 is 6. Means x minus c mod less than 4, x minus c mod less than 6. It means both are less than 4, because something which is less than 4, it is clearly less than 6. That is, we can get the common part if we take minimum of 4 and 6, that is 4. So if we take delta as minimum of delta 1 and delta 2, then both of the results are true. That is, fx minus L1 mod is less than epsilon and fx minus L2 mod is less than epsilon, for 0 less than x minus c mod less than delta. Now it implies now what is L1 minus L2 mod? This can be written as L1 minus fx plus fx minus L2 mod. So this is less than or equal to L1 minus fx mod plus fx minus L2 mod for 0 less than x minus c mod less than delta. Now this is less than epsilon by this, and this is less than epsilon by this. It means L1 minus L2 is less than 2 epsilon. Now take epsilon equals to L1 minus L2 mod upon 2. Because we have initially we have taken L1 is not equal to L2, so it means L1 minus L2 mod is positive. So if we divide it by 2, we get again a positive number. So we can choose epsilon as L1 minus L2 mod upon 2. So it implies, if we put it here, we get this is less than L1 minus L2. So L1 minus L2 mod is less than L1 minus L2 mod. This is not possible because no real number can be less than itself. So this is a contradiction. Therefore L1 equals to L2. So limit is unique. This proves the theorem. Next theorem. Secuse principle. Secuse principle, or it is also known as sandwich theorem. It states that if fx is less than gx is less than hx in some deleted neighborhood of C and limit x tends to C fx equals to L equals to limit x tends to C hx, then limit x tends to C gx is also equal to L. That is, if this and this have the same limit at the point C, then gx will also have the same limit at the point C. Proof. So by definition, for all epsilon positive, there exists delta 1 positive, delta 2 positive, such that fx minus L is less than epsilon, comma, gx minus L is less than epsilon, fx minus L is less than epsilon for 0 less than x minus c mod less than delta 1, gx minus L is less than epsilon for, also we are given fx less than gx less than hx in some related neighborhood of c. So there exists delta 3 positive such that fx is less than, so here is hx, because hx, limit hx is L as x tends to c. For 0 less than x minus c less than delta 3. This is given fx less than gx less than hx in some related neighborhood of c. So fx less than gx less than hx for 0 less than mod x minus c less than delta 3. Now what we get, we will take minimum of delta 1, delta 2, delta 3 as delta. Again these three results will hold as in the previous theorem. So take delta as minimum of delta 1, delta 2, delta 3, then fx minus L mod is less than epsilon, comma, fx less than gx less than hx for 0 less than mod x minus c less than delta. 0 less than mod x minus c less than delta. Mod x minus c less than delta. Now we expand the modulus. What we get? It imply L minus epsilon less than fx less than epsilon, L plus epsilon. Similarly, L minus epsilon less than hx less than epsilon, L plus epsilon, comma, fx less than gx less than hx for 0 less than mod x minus c less than delta. Now what we take? We take here this L minus epsilon is less than fx. It implies L minus epsilon less than fx. Further, this fx is less than gx. Further, this gx is less than hx. Further, this hx is less than L plus epsilon for 0 less than mod x minus c less than delta. Means L minus epsilon is less than gx is less than epsilon for 0 less than x minus c mod less than delta. Means again for 0 less than x minus c less than delta. So therefore limit x tends to c, gx equals to L. This is what we were having to prove. That is, if f and h have the same limit at the point c, then gx is also have the same limit at that point. Next, third theorem, Cauchy's criterion. Cauchy's criterion, it states that if limit x tends to c, fx exists, then for all epsilon positive, there exists neighborhood n of c such that fx1 minus fx2 mod is less than epsilon for all x1 x2 belonging to n. Proof. Let limit x tends to c fx equals to l. So therefore, for all epsilon positive, there exists delta positive such that fx minus l mod is less than epsilon for 0 less than x minus c less than delta. Let us call it as n. Means we can take epsilon as epsilon by 2, because if epsilon is positive, then epsilon by 2 is also positive. So it means fx minus for all x belonging to n, this neighborhood n. So let x1 comma x2 belongs to n. So it implies f of x1 minus l is less than epsilon by 2, and fx2 minus l is less than epsilon by 2, because for all x belonging to n, this result is true. Now, what is fx1 minus fx2? This can be written as fx1 minus l plus l minus fx2. So this can be further written as less than or equal to for all x1 x2 belonging to n. This proves the Cauchy's criterion. Thank you.